Bush-appointed federal judge criticizes AG William Barr for casting doubt over whether there will be transparency in the Mueller report ahead of the release of the redacted findings on Thursday. U.S. District Court Judge Reggie Walton on Tuesday criticized Attorney General William Barr. Walton said Barr has created an environment that has led people to doubt whether there is transparency as it relates to the Mueller report, but the judge turned down a request by BuzzFeed to force the Justice Department to release the report by Thursday. Barr plans to release redacted version of the report on Thursday. Report contains findings of investigation by special counsel Robert Mueller into whether President Trump colluded with Russia during 2016 campaign. Democrats are demanding the release of an unredacted version of the report by Ariel Zilber for DailyMail.com and Associated Press, published 2:09 BST, April 17, 2019, updated 3:02 BST, April 17, 2019. Attorney General William Barr is being criticized by a federal judge for failing to convince the public that he is being transparent with the Mueller report. U.S. District Court Judge Reggie Walton criticized Barr on Tuesday during a hearing on a lawsuit demanding access to the report. The Mueller report contains the findings of special counsel Robert Mueller's two-year investigation into alleged Russian meddling in the 2016 elections and whether President Trump's campaign colluded with Moscow. The Attorney General has created an environment that has caused a significant part of the public to be concerned about whether or not there is transparency, Walton said during the hearing. According to Politico, Attorney General William Barr, left, has created an environment that has caused a significant part of the public to doubt whether or not there is transparency as it relates to the release of the Mueller report, according to U.S. District Court Judge Reggie Walton, right? The judge did not elaborate. Walton was appointed to the federal bench by President George W. Bush in 2001. He is a senior judge of the U.S. District Court for the District of Columbia. Despite his criticism of Barr, Walton denied a request by the news site BuzzFeed to force the Justice Department to release the Mueller report by Thursday. Even though the Justice Department has already stated that the 400-page report will be released with redactions, BuzzFeed demanded that the release be in compliance with the Freedom of Information Act. A lawyer with the department declined to say whether the version of the report that will be released on Thursday will be the same as that which will be released under FOIA. Matthew Topic, the lawyer representing BuzzFeed, says that a court order requiring the release would speed up any future litigation over whatever information is redacted from the report. The government claims it can make an open-ended extension with no specific deadline in mind, Topic said. Walton said on Tuesday that he might ask the government to hand him an unredacted copy of the report in order to judge for himself whether the redactions made are appropriate. That's something we will have to work through. I'll have to think about it, he said. Walton said he was hopeful that the Justice Department would release most of the report so that legal disputes would be kept to a minimum. I would hope that the government is as transparent as it can be. Justice Department spokeswoman Carrie Kupek did not provide a precise time for when Barr will release the report on Thursday, but said the report, which Barr has described as nearly 400 pages long, will be made available both to Congress and the public. Last month, Barr released a 4-page summary of the Mueller report, which the Attorney General says includes no evidence that President Trump, above, colluded with Russia during the 2016 campaign. Congressional Democrats have demanded the release of the report with nothing blacked out and also have asked for the underlying evidence gathered by Mueller, meaning Thursday's action by Barr may be just the first move in a longer fight that could play out in the courts. Moments after the department announced its plans for releasing the report, the Republican president went to Twitter to make another attack on Mueller's team and derided the Russia hoax. The Mueller investigation has cast a cloud over the presidency of Trump, who has often called it a politically motivated witch hunt. Mueller turned over a copy of his confidential report to Barr on March 22, ending his 22-month-long inquiry. 2 days later, Barr released a 4-page letter summarizing what he said were Mueller's primary conclusions. In that letter to Congress, Barr said Mueller's investigation did not establish that members of Trump's election campaign conspired with Russia. What you won't see in Robert Mueller's report. The Justice Department will release a redacted version of Special Counsel Robert Mueller's above report on alleged Russian meddling in the 2016 elections. The special counsel's Trump-Russia report will be out on Thursday for all to see. But not all of it. The Democrats' demands for a unredacted version of Robert Mueller's report are likely to prompt a political and legal battle that could last for months, if not much longer, the chairman of the House Judiciary Committee, New York Rep. Jerrold Nadler, has said he is prepared to issue subpoenas very quickly for the report on Russia and Donald Trump's presidential campaign if it is released with blacked-out sections, and that would set the legal fight in motion. Attorney General William Barr has said he is redacting 4 types of information from the report, which the Justice Department says will be released Thursday. Congressional Democrats cite precedent from previous investigations in saying they want to see it all. But some Republicans defending Barr are also citing precedent, saying it is appropriate to keep at least some of the information from Congress and the public. A look at what types of material Barr is redacting, and why Democrats say it should be released. Grand jury information. Barr has staked out his position on releasing secret grand jury information, saying last week that he would not go to court to request its release. He said Democrats are free to go to court themselves, and Nadler has said he is ready to do so. Grand jury information, including witness interviews, is normally off-limits but can be obtained in court. Some records were eventually released in the Whitewater investigation into former President Bill Clinton and an investigation into President Richard Nixon before he resigned. Both of those cases were under somewhat different circumstances, including that the House Judiciary Committee had initiated impeachment proceedings. Federal court rules state that a court may order disclosure preliminary to or in connection with a judicial proceeding. But Democrats have said they are not interested in impeachment, for now, and are likely to argue in court that they don't need to be in an official impeachment proceeding to receive the materials. Classified information. Congress frequently receives classified documents and briefings, and Democrats say there is no reason the Mueller report should be any different. Many Republicans agree, including the top Republican on the Intelligence Committee, California Rep. Devin Nunes, who wrote a rare joint letter in March with House Intelligence Committee Chairman Adam Schiff asking for all materials, regardless of form or classification. In the letter, which was obtained by the Associated Press, Schiff and Nunes also asked for a private briefing from Mueller and his team. Democrat Schiff has argued that some of that information should be released to the public, as well, citing Mueller indictments that have already revealed granular detail about the Russian effort to influence the 2016 election. All of that information at one point was classified, but the decision must have been made. The public interest outweighs that. And I think a similar analysis should be undertaken here, Schiff said on CNN this month. Ongoing investigations. Barr said he will redact information related to investigations connected to the Mueller probe that are still underway. Those include cases handed off or referred to federal prosecutors in Washington, New York, and Virginia. Democrats have noted that the Justice Department has released such information before, including some related to Mueller's own investigation while it was in progress. Republicans who were in the House majority last year obtained documents related to the beginnings of the Russia investigation, arguing that officials were biased against then-candidate Trump. Republicans argued at the time that it was necessary to obtain that information to maintain the integrity of the investigation. Derogatory information. The Justice Department regularly redacts information about people who were interviewed or scrutinized in investigations but not charged. Barr has said he will black out information from the report that would unduly infringe on the personal privacy and reputational interests of peripheral third parties. Asked by Sen. Jean Shaheen, DNH, at a hearing last week if that meant he would redact information to protect the interests of Trump, Barr said it did not. "No, I'm talking about people in private life, not public office holders," Barr said. That means that in addition to Trump, members of his family who work at the White House, such as his daughter Ivanka, could potentially be named if they were somehow entangled in Mueller's investigation. But any information regarding his sons, Eric and Donald Trump Jr., who run his businesses, could be more likely to be redacted. The Justice Department did release information about the investigation into Hillary Clinton's email practices more than 2 years ago, even though Clinton wasn't charged. But that was after then FBI Director James Comey made the much-questioned decision to publicly discuss that investigation. Barr signaled in his